Good morning, ladies and gents, and welcome to the Shamanite channel. Today, ladies and gents, is a good little day. I have been on the lookout for an item now for some time that just never seemed to be in stock. They do other variants that were always in stock, but not this baby. That was until today, where I happened to come across the Parkside wet and dry vacuum cleaner. This is the 1500 watts version. Like I said, I've been looking out for this for some time. They do have the, I believe it's a 1200 watt version, which is almost half the drum size, and also they have the cordless version. I have been looking for this, not just for the wet and dry function. That will be great with the cars, any spillages, but also for dust extraction. So finally managed to get hold of this today, which makes me very happy. Like I've said before, simple man was easily pleased. But here she is. Parkside wet and dry vacuum cleaner. Powerful all-purpose vacuum cleaner with max 260 air watt for use in your house, workshop, yes, the workshop, or garage. Oh, didn't show that there. Workshop or garage. It's rated at 1500 watts. Suction power maximum 260 air watts. Suction force maximum 181 M bars. It's got a container capacity of 30 litres, and the power cable is 6 meters in length. Sounds okay. Sounds okay. But yeah, see some accessories there for those of you who are interested. Standard what appears to be their 3-year warranty. A part number there, and also the model number is PWD 30C1. So, without further ado, I'm going to crack it open. So this may well be my first on-camera unboxing. Let's get into it. The instructions, we'll take a look at them, maybe, and get it out of here. So here we are. Here's the content of the box out. Nicely packaged. We have an accessory, maybe for the wet element, the handle stroke hose, and the machine itself. Feels nice. Raised logo there, nice detailing. External socket, power controller. I'm guessing the other accessories are going to be housed for storage purposes within the drum itself. Oh, quite heavy. Yeah, here we go. Filter on the bottom there. Place that on there. Here we go. So we have an attachment which will be for the dust extraction. Really good. Layered or leveled, different diameters. What else we got in here? The actual hose itself, coiled up. And then we have a couple of handles, possibly. An attachment for upholstery materials, I'm guessing. Yep, handle element. Aha, first of our wheels. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They will just clip on from the sides here. Those little parts there will clip on to under there. We'll have a look at that in a bit. Just look at the wheels themselves. Plastic. Double wheels there. The whole thing's plasticky. I'm not sure how strong that's going to be. If those of you who've seen my previous review on the Casters Day supply, a couple of those large ones as well. So 5 of those large ones with a locking mechanism would be good on here. But we'll see. You see how they look once they're on there. 5 of them together. A further hose. And we have our heads. 1 and 2. Crevice tool. Looks like this is going to be a little pouch for the bag. Yep, bag in there. How many bags are we getting with this then? Let's have a look. One bag. Okay, 1 bag. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. That's it. Nice and shiny in there also. So, start to get it together and see how we go. So if we see one of the wheels, I'm guessing it's just going to slot into. Can you get that in there? Get a lot of reflection there. Let's have a look. Raise this up to there. Let's do it this way. So the wheel, I'm guessing it's going to. This part, those little latches there are going to go into the bottom bit there. Let's have a look. No. There we go, just in there, and it clicks into place. Yeah, quite straightforward. Clicks in there, so I'll get the rest of it set up and I'll come back. Oh, there we go. The wheels have been attached. They seem to sit okay. Just not totally convinced on how robust they will be. The little plastic wheels on there. They are double, so time will tell. Other than that, a quick little look around the machine. Like I just briefly mentioned, got the raised emblem there. Handle to lift it up. On and off button. Guessing to rocker switch the 1, 2 and 3, so that'll be to turn the hoover on. That'll be to go into the blower function. We have our output there from mains. Also the power, suction power or even blowing power, works both ways I guess. This little button here is apparently a cleaning, self-cleaning element for the filter. We have our inlet for the hose for the vacuum, and then similarly for the blower. A little look around here on the Parkside sort of embellished logo there as well. Drum feels okay. This is to release the water if you're using the wet function. A little thing I've noticed, which I think is very good, is that the top of the wheels have got these, well, they've got this almost adapter element there, and that's for our parts and the storage. So you can lock it onto there. Easy storage. I do find with normal vacuums quite a pain to carry things around. Yeah, that's really good. I like that. Giving you a little guide through the attachments. First, we have these like brackets. They're just like squeeze together in such a way, and they fit into there, giving it some other element of storage. Let's see. Let's swap hands here. Let's swap hands and make this a bit easier. So, as I said, just squeeze it together, and it just locks into there. So if we squeeze it in there, and it locks in. There we go. One for that side, and we have a second one for the other side. Let's go left-handed this time. Yep, there we go. A little bit extra storage. I did initially think this was for the hoses or the power cord, but it does appear that for the power cord we have this little hook here and hook here. that'll allow us to be able to wrap that up. Got the power cord around there. What else have we got? So this is the car tool. Yeah, I guess so. Get your large area in there. Again, that can also fit onto the side there for storage. The crevice tool on the side there, your storage. Now we have also a couple of these. Let's take a look at these. Let's see, where are we? So, have a look at this one. Got wheels on there. Okay, yeah, I can see that's just almost like a squidgy element. I'm guessing that's going to be for the wet function. Very nice. Yeah, that'll help. Oh, okay. If it is a squidgy element, just looking at that, just imagining this in my mind. We're having two tracks there as you're scraping along the floor, and the bottom one not move the water away. Not just me. Look underneath there. So if you're actually working on that, are they both the same? Yeah, they are. That might be. Not convinced how that'll work. I'd get it if there were just one there. The front would have two there. Oh, we'll give it a test. But I'm guessing that's for the wet element. You're doing your wet drying. No, that's going to get in the way of the power. Just looking at this, thinking I was going to put the wet one there. As you can see, the power cord goes up here and it's going to latch up through here. So maybe it'd be best to put the crevice tool here. Keep it away from there. Likewise there as well. Look at that, the power cord. So maybe on that side we will go with, if we go with this on this side. Not that one fit in there. It's not going to fit on there because we've got the fixing element there. So okay. What else have we got? We've got 1, 2. Put that there. Put the wet one here. Sort of getting in the way of the water element, but I suppose if you're using the wet function, there we go, that fits in like that now. Sticking out, nice snug fit, but it's sticking out somewhat. And we've got, before I get the next one there, then we also have the second one, whereas logically speaking, if the other one was the wet side, this is going to be the normal hoover. Yeah, that's right, we've got the brushes on there. Yeah, they don't seem to be moving up or down. Again, that one, it's got gaps at the front, which I get to allow particles through. And it's all blocked off at the back. I'm guessing the backward motion, is that not going to brush the little bits away? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And go on to, again, it's not a good fit, so just twiddle it around so it's sticking out. There you go, I'll just show you that. So my first inclination or preference, if I call it, would be to have the attachment in such a way, like that, facing inwards. Doesn't seem to fit that way, so the only way you're going to get it on, twist it around so it's facing outwards and get it on like that. Works, I guess. I mean, so we've got on there, we have our hoover for your normal hard surfaces in dry conditions. We have our car crevice tool, as they're calling it, on there as well. Then we have our second head for the wet conditions with the squidgy elements on there. Then I could also guess I can get on there the upholstery part in there as well, and our crevice tool. And just without winding the wire on there, I think that'll probably work best with the crevice tool there, the upholstery tool there. Then it still leaves a gap from what they're calling the cord hook. So once that's wound up, we're now not untangled the cord yet, but that would sit on there out the way sort of thing. So okay, that works. We'll give that a little run. going back to our other tools, we have looking at the actual hose pipe or the handle. Nice solid, feels nice and solid. It has the mechanism here to extend it is the little plastic thing there, solid enough. Push it down, pull it out, and you can see there's going to be these little ridges going to connect into. So once it's locked, it can't move. So you're going to push it forwards, in and out, and all that. It locks in. There's a lot of little notches in there, so it's very good level of adjustability, I'd say, on that. That's good. This then will connect into our large hose, which is it's a good size. It's a good size. Yeah, it's a good size in there, so that will connect into there. Again, it's not like in some vacuums you get the twist in there. It's just like sort of goes in there, you twist it around a bit, feels secure enough on one side. As I briefly showed earlier, on the side of the Hoover, on this side, that's either going to go into the very front of the wet and dry, and they're clicking there for the Hoover element, your traditional Hoover. If you wanted to do some blowing, get a bit of blowing going on there, it comes out of here and it goes to the top right as you're looking, and it just slots into in the same way. So that works in such a way, like that. And then again, if we come back to our hose part and just take off one of our attachments from the side here. So this is going to be our normal Hoover, little wheels on there, and that. Sorry about the movements here. I hope no one's eating dinner or anything, or just eating lunch. Yeah, that will just slot into there. So it's a snug fit. Snug fit. With this thing, I don't think it's designed to be your main vacuum cleaner in your house. It is designed to be like secondary spills, your workshop, your car, whatnot. I don't think I'd be doing too much hoovering around the house without on carpet. I think I'd struggle. It's more of a hard surface hoover. And I'm a good 6 foot tall myself, and for me, I've got that on full strength, on full whack there, and yeah, that's fine for me. The wheels are actually, you can fit on while it's on the floor now. I'm sure you can hear. That's the wheels. There's not much of the actual fibre scraping there, so you can feel a bit there. Yeah. So I suppose that's going to be likewise the squidgy element then, with it just not touching. I think the wheels are slightly elevated compared to the these brush elements on either side. So okay, let me just get it connected up and we'll have a little play. Actually, before I connect it up, I wanted to show you this part of it as well. So that's our Hoover element onto your traditional metal hose, you'll call it. This goes onto there. Now the blowing function, if you want to have this little pipe here, this is I believe for the blowing function. This connects in the same way. You'll take off your hose at the top, so you're left with almost your little handheld gun side. And I've actually attached this on the end. This also comes off to give you that ability to go into different diameter pipes on the other side, but I've attached that too. They're both the same size now. It will only go on one side, so on this end it's the equivalent size. On the other end it's slightly smaller, so it will attach into there. Then this side will go into your hose, your handheld hose part, and that is then giving us the blowing function. So we've got a little bit more of room on there, a bit more precision with this. I'm guessing there's going to be some sort of attachment you can buy on this, like a blowing gun or something like that. So I'll keep an eye out for that, because just by itself I think that would work. I'll give it a little blast just to see what the force is on that, power on there in terms of the blowing ability. But I'll keep an eye. I mean, maybe if any of you guys out there know, do Parkside and Lidl do a little gun part for this, where you can blow your dust, or is it just with that? Let me know in the comments, guys. Like I say, I'll come back to that. I'll just get it set up and we'll give it a little go. Okay, guys, first of all, a little observation for you. Initially, I thought it was faulty, but it would appear she needs a bit of time to warm up. So when you're pressing the power button, it's not instant. It's almost a bit of a delay on there. Let me show you what I mean. You see that? So you click the button, and it just, it almost like it needs to think about it first. So there is a good 1 second delay on there. I wanted to actually show you the difference in the power suction. So it's currently set to minimum. So I'll turn it on, and I will crank it up, and you should be able to hear the increased motor work in there, and thus giving us more suction. So let's give it a go. Right, I don't know how well that came through on the microphone, but I could certainly hear the increase. There does, however, seem to be nothing much happening until about this point. I don't know if you saw me stopping it there a couple of occasions. That's when I actually heard it increase myself. So it's almost from minimum to, say, 50%, there's nothing. But then it's almost like on a car where your first 2,000 revs aren't doing much, then the turbo kicks in. And then from 50% to 100, there was a noticeable increase in suction all the way through there. So, yeah, I'll do that once again. And again, I'll stop it there. Well, I'll stop at the point where I think I can start to notice a difference and take it all the way through. Let's give that another go. Yeah, I do think there's a sweet spot with this. I think when you're increasing the suction, there's nothing for the first 50%, or the first, I don't know what's that. Would you say that's a quarter turn? If we're saying the whole thing, well, the whole thing's probably about a quarter turn. So the first half of this, first eighth of a turn, and then this is where the power kicks in. But likewise, strangely enough, on the way down, it's the same there as well, where the first quarter turn there's nothing. And then it gradually, then you can note it noticeably falls off there. Does it make a difference? I guess not. I mean, what I will say is that from minimum to maximum, there's a noticeable difference from what I'm sitting next to it. So let's actually see what it's like being a Hoover. Okay, guys. So before we get started, we're going to fit the bag. The bag is a decent sized bag, I must say, substantial size. Get quite a bit in there. Now you will notice that you have a pointed bit at one end and a rounded off bit at the other end. Having a little play with this, it will appear that it goes in this way up. And looking where it sits on the inside, it's just going to fit over this inlet tube. But if you can notice, there's this little ridge here. And that would appear all there is to hold the bag onto that inlet tube. I'm not sure how well that's going to work, but that's the way it is, so that's the way we'll go with it. So we just push it over, and it's quite loose, but you'll see this almost rubber flexible element there will sit over this ridge here, and I'm guessing that should keep it in place, and it just pushes back in like there. So if you caught that, I'll show you again. So that element there just pushes over. Now, having said that, that does. Now I'm going to try and push that back as far as I can get it, to be fair. These bits at almost the edges of it will limit how far you can push it. But I've pushed it right up to there, so it's nice and snugly in there. I'm just going to push that to a side because, as much as I said it's a nice, good sized bag, you've also got to bear in mind and factor in, as big as the bag is, we also have the filter which sits on top of this unit. So if you look in there, so I've left that rounded off, and the filter will go into there. I mean, the good thing about this is it's designed in such a way that it will only fit on one way, and that's not going in there because I've left that bit there hanging off. And once it's actually housed, it only fits in because that bit there locks in, so you can't put it on back to front because it won't fit. So that's okay, that works. So connect the latches back up, very similar to what they use on their boxes. So connect them back up, I'll get it powered up and we'll give it a go. Okay, ladies and gents, so what I've got set up is a little bit of dust on the floor. I mean, sod's law. I could do it in the Hoover and I couldn't find much dust anywhere. So got a little setup here. I'm just going to try it with just the hose by itself. And I'll put the attachment on and see what difference that makes. And let's just see what we get with it. Just going to stop that there because, I mean, you can see that I was picking up, but I've got that on minimum power. So I'll try it with maximum power now. I'll turn it on and increase it, and then we should notice a difference in certainly the sound, and we'll have a look what it's like on maximum power. Because that little thing, I didn't go right up to it, but it was sort of tugging on it with a good 5 centimetre gap. So let's have a look with maximum power and what difference it makes. So, ladies and gents, now we have the first attachment on here. This is the hard floor attachment. As you can see, we have the bristles on there. Putting it on the floor, I can certainly feel the wheels on there. Not so much the brush head. So we'll give it a try and just see how that works. I will do a pass over the dust, back and forth, just to see how it picks up. See if you can see it being sucked up there from the side. Yeah, it's working fine. Coming back over it. Seems to work very well actually. Going over a few more specs. Let's try it again. Yeah, that's sucking up stuff in the front. Working well, working well. It seemed to work very well actually. It sucked up the dust no problem. And from when I was pulling it back, I could physically feel it sucking onto the floor, so that's definitely a positive with that. Yeah, all worked good. Okay, so I've got a setup here. I've got some dust on the floor for the next element, which is the blowing function. So we're going to turn it on and just see how it works. As you can see, it does work in a manner of speaking. I can't really see myself using it for this function. It's not as good as a leaf vacuum / blower you can buy for the garden. I mean, it's not even anywhere close to being as functional as a standalone blower you can get that's operated by battery. I don't think I don't think I would use this elements of it. Yeah, bit disappointed with this, but hey, at least I've tried it, and yeah. I mean, that said, unless anybody out there has actually got a gun style attachment that helps improve this function, maybe if you have, you can leave some comments for me to let me know, and I can certainly look to get one and test it myself. But yeah, the way it is, as is, I don't think I'd use this. Moving on to the next bit. So, ladies and gents, that's my review of the Parkside wet and dry vacuum cleaner. I won't be doing the test on the wet element or the extraction element at the moment. I'm relatively satisfied, and I can say with a degree of confidence that from what I've seen of the suction power, that it will perfectly service my needs, certainly as an extraction tool. In terms of the wet side, I mean, I may look to incorporate the extraction element and the wet side at a later date when I'm actually using those functions, and I will certainly keep you updated on that and post a video as and when that happens. Overall, my opinion of the Parkside wet and dry vacuum, I'm happy with my purchase. The blowing function, as I said a little earlier, I don't think I'll use, but in terms of its capabilities as a hoover and an extraction device, I think it will serve my needs. Looking at the device itself, the layout and things, I'm happy with that as well. It looks solidly built. Little things like the caster wheels and adding the accessories on there, I think, is a very good idea. And it looks really nice, actually. I mean, I like the Parkside logos on there. Certainly the raised one on the top with the red and white, and on the metal body. Coming round to the actual design of it, there are a couple of certainly ergonomic designs I would have put in there. Like looking at the wire here, you can see it comes from the right hand side, and you've almost got to spool it across to the left to hook over the hooks where you can wrap it around. I think that would have been much better to have that actual close by, so it's not going across there like that and having to wrap around. I think it would have been relatively easy for myself to do that, but yeah, in terms of design. And secondly, the actual wire itself, you can see there, having wrapped it around, I've had to almost tuck in the plug across the wire itself. And again, having a little plastic clip on the bottom of there just to be able to clip it onto the rest of the wire would have been a nice design as well. You certainly get these on other products out there. It's not the most difficult thing. But that said, you can see this is the way I've put it all together in terms of where I can store the hoses on the left and right, and the accessories, which are the two different heads, or the car tool, and that's how much space it takes up. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it is a bulky item. It's going to take a certain amount of space up, but I've found that that's as compact as I can make it, and I can certainly house that in my garage, and it'll sit there fine. But yeah, overall, I'm happy with it. Like I say, I will look to come back and do certainly an extraction review, and maybe a wet and dry one at the time as well. But yeah, there it is. I hope you enjoyed the review, guys. As usual, please leave some comments of what you thought. And if you could, I would appreciate any, like the video if you certainly liked it, and subscribe to the channel. Until the next time, see you again, and keep shining it.